There was a period in my life when almost everything revolved around learning. Reading books, listening to podcasts, watching self-development videos, jumping from one course to another. I truly believed that if I could just learn a little more, I would finally become better. But strangely enough, the more I learned, the more confused I became. Knowledge out there felt endless. The more I learned, the more I realized how little I knew. And deep down, I constantly lived with this feeling. I'm not enough. Not smart enough. Not capable enough. Not good enough to live the life I wanted. Until one day, I came across a piece of wisdom that completely changed the way I saw myself and life. I realized something profound. People don't truly suffer because they lack knowledge. They suffer because they don't know what they already have. And they also don't know what they're actually missing. Back then, I believed that learning more was always the answer. But the more I tried to stuff information into my head, the more chaotic my mind became. I learned countless things, yet none of them made me feel truly fulfilled inside. Until I discovered a deeply transformative path of inner growth. Wisdom, right pointing arrow mindset, right pointing arrow character, right pointing arrow virtue. At first, I thought wisdom simply meant knowing a lot. But over time, I realized real wisdom has very little to do with memorizing information. True wisdom is inner awareness. It's understanding how human beings truly operate. It's knowing what causes our suffering and what helps us grow through life's challenges. And once wisdom changes, your mindset naturally begins to change too. I used to be incredibly negative. Just one unpleasant comment from someone could ruin my energy for the entire day. If life didn't go the way I expected, I immediately felt frustrated and unfairly treated. But when my awareness began to shift, I started understanding something important. Every emotion has a cause. And every reaction begins from the perception inside us. I came to realize this deeply. Your mindset determines whether you suffer or feel at peace. So I began learning how to move between three emotional energies within my mindset: joy, compassion, and gratitude, no matter what circumstances life brought me. And slowly, my mindset started shaping my character. I became more responsible for my words. I learned how to listen more deeply. I learned to look at myself before blaming others. Eventually, the things I repeated every single day became my virtues. That's when I realized virtue is not something you forcefully create for others to see. It's the natural result of a healthy system of awareness, maintained consistently over time. But the thing that awakened me most deeply was learning about the circle of knowledge. I used to think that human knowledge had only two states. You either know something or you don't. But that's not true at all. Human understanding actually exists in 4 different zones. The first zone is what you know that you know. For example, I know I can cook. I know I have experience in business. This is the clearest zone. But then I discovered a second zone. And it genuinely shocked me. That zone is what you know but have forgotten. There were lessons I had already lived through. Painful experiences that had once helped me grow. Things I once understood very deeply. But because I hadn't reflected on them for so long, and because life kept moving so quickly, I forgot I even knew them. Then I realized there was an even bigger zone. What you know you don't know. For example, I know I don't know how to fly a plane. I know I can't design professionally. I know singing isn't my strength. And honestly, the things we don't know are far greater than the things we do know. That realization made me much more humble. But the largest, and most dangerous, zone is this. What you don't know you don't know. This is what makes it so difficult for people to truly master themselves. Because if you don't even realize what you're missing, then you won't know what to learn, what to improve, or where to begin. There was a time when I thought I knew a lot. I thought I was always right. Until someone showed me that, in reality, I knew almost nothing about that subject at all. It felt like a child growing up in a remote countryside without electricity. Walking into a city for the first time and seeing electric lights glowing in the dark. In that moment, the child realizes, so the world is far bigger than I ever imagined. And that was the moment I truly began to change. I understood that people can only truly learn when they realize they do not know. Because if you don't know what you don't know, you'll never even know where the destination is, let alone how to get there. I also realized something important. A truly mature person is not the one who knows the most. It's the person who clearly knows what they know, and clearly knows what they still don't know. Once I understood that, I finally realized why I had spent years learning without truly growing. Because I was learning in chaos. I couldn't identify what I already knew, what I lacked, or what I genuinely needed to learn to improve my life. So the more I learned, the more exhausted I became. The more information I consumed, the more directionless I felt. But once I began clearly seeing, this is what I already know, expanding into the unknown suddenly became much easier. Everything inside my mind started organizing itself naturally. And then I realized another profound truth. Human beings do not actually need endless amounts of knowledge. What truly matters is deeply understanding a few core principles. Once you understand those deeply enough, everything else begins connecting together naturally. I also changed the way I communicate with other people. In the past, I always started conversations from what I know. So whenever I talked, I was only trying to prove that I was right. But now, I start from what the other person already knows. I listen first. I try to understand their awareness first. Then slowly clarify, organize, and reconnect the understanding that already exists within them. And strangely enough, when I do that, people often tell me, it feels like everything in my head is finally organized. It feels like years of learning suddenly connected together. And that's when I understood. I'm not giving them completely new knowledge. I'm simply helping them reconnect the pieces of wisdom that were already inside them all along. After everything, the greatest gift, the circle of knowledge, gave me, was not knowledge itself. It was humility. I learned how to be more open-minded, listen more deeply, and learn more from other people. I no longer feel pressured to become the smartest person in the room. Now I focus on something much simpler. Understanding human beings a little more deeply every day. And understanding myself a little more deeply too. And eventually I realized, when awareness becomes clearer, inner peace naturally follows. Life no longer feels as complicated as it once did. Everything gradually becomes simpler. Know what you know. Know what you still don't know. And continue expanding your awareness every single day. That alone has completely changed my life. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you also feel that the circle of knowledge has opened a new perspective for you, comment the number 2 below. And don't forget to like and share this video with the people you love. The people you hope will also begin understanding themselves more deeply. And subscribe to the channel so we can continue raising our awareness together every single day. My friend.